Hey everybody, it's me and my buddy Rhett. She likes it when you snap at her. She'll snap right back. Um, she used to do her neck like this when she would do it, and everyone thought she was cracking her neck, but she was actually doing it with her mouth. She'd be like, but it sounds just like a snap. Um, but anyways, yeah. Oh, I didn't even start things up. I don't even know if I should. Um, npm start localhost 4200. So, anyways, yeah. So yesterday we finished up the last of the scene work that I plan to do, um, and now it's time to push the code that we have and commit it and push it, and then do a mini self pull request. So let's go ahead and reload this, just make sure everything works, and then we will come in here and look at our validation service. Just make sure we don't have any weird comments or anything. That's pretty nice, man. That's literally all we had to do is just add it to there. My dream, I would think it would be really cool. It's kind of weird because it didn't used to be this way, but is that maybe on the next version of this application, you could literally just add a new um, attribute in here and it all just works. And maybe another attribute that says, hey, yeah, and by the way, this is animatable and blah blah blah, and everything just like suddenly it's just in the form and you can use it, and that would be really cool. Um, I doubt I'll be able to pull that off in the next one, but maybe in the one after that. Um, but all of these changes look good. I don't see anything that I'm not happy with. It's probably I don't know. Even that stray new line is probably a good idea. Just good ideas everywhere. It would be kind of nice if this had been fed from the default values when I create the scene. The scene is different, so there's some things like meshes and lights that get created by you manually, and then there's some things like the scene that get auto created. But I don't even know if the scene should be auto created in the next version. Probably at least one scene, um, because one thing I'd really like in the next version is to be able to have multiple cameras and multiple scenes on the screen at the same time. Obviously they wouldn't be in the same div, but I don't think you could put those in the same div, but it would be kind of neat to be able to do that. But that looks good. So we're just going to push this and basically enables fog far uh, add git commit dash m um, enables fog far no makes fog far configurable. And then git push. Oh, git push. Now this is annoying, and I don't know if it's just annoying to everybody, but I feel like everybody wants to, and that's another thing and I thought I would get to it, is I would love for this to be able to expand. I would love to be able to hide all the menus, and I would like the menus to be like maybe where you only get two items and then you get like dot 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 and then you select which menus you want to see. I think that would make the application a lot more interesting. Um, and then maybe some keystrokes that, or well, I mean, I guess hiding it and just having a little icon down here and then unhiding it is fine. But those are things that would be cool in the next iteration of this application. Um, but it is annoying that you have to, like, when you go to GitHub now, you have to have your phone with you, and then they're like, oh, if you lose your phone number, you may not ever be able to get in there, um, or if you lose your address, you know, you may not be able to get in there. We'd like to know another one of your addresses. Um, but weirdly enough, I am in fact logged in already. That is strange. Um, so this is my showtime, and yep, I love that. I think that was just so cool. They're like, "Hey, you just did this a minute ago. Why don't you want to create a pull request?" It's like, heck yeah, I want to create a pull request. I don't think there's any real reason to fill this out since I'm the only one. It is kind of crazy how many commits there are. Um, I don't know why it decides to show you some stuff sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. But this is sort of a smattering of everything we did. I don't find that view to be particularly useful. Um, I'm just going to say create the pull request. I think my favorite, I mean, sometimes I'll use this view. So I have 20 commits. That's pretty useful. And especially if I only have like one or two commits, this can be really useful. Or if I just, like, if I had a pull request, I wanted to make a change, and then I just made that change. But we changed 46 files, which is a lot more than I would expect. I don't really have any problem with this change. I don't even know what this means. This little um, minus sign means. And when you mouse over, it doesn't give you any kind of indicator. Um, oh, I guess this is a new file, but it doesn't have anything in it, uh, which is weird. File. Oh, okay. The file was renamed. Okay, yeah, that's right. Because initially, I don't know why it was renamed without any changes. That's pretty cool that it caught that. That is new to me. I don't remember that being a thing. So with source app interface. Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. So I kind of try to separate the concepts of Showtime stuff and ThreeJS. Like before, they were kind of the same. I would change a piece of data, and then the Showtime data would be um, the same, indistinguishable from ThreeJS data. And eventually, it became very obvious that no, I need to have Showtime structures, and then they map to ThreeJS. Um, so that's really what that was all about. Um, and it is funny because I actually did take like one file and turn it into two. So one of them it saw as moving without changes, I guess. I don't really understand that. But so here's where I added new fog stuff to the scene. Um, I think I initially thought I was just going to add fog, and then I was going to, oh, two kinds of fog. And then it was like, oh, wait, fogs have color. Oh, they have density. Oh, they have near. Oh, when it's linear, then it's near and far matter, but when it's exponential. And see, like, those are the sort of details that it's just like, when you're explaining it in a such setting like this, it's super simple. But figuring it out was a bear. It was not obvious that all these sort of ideas got conflated and confusing. Um, so animation service. This is just a bunch of imports. Camera service. So yeah, a lot of this is just me literally moving stuff around to make the services to to make to separate the concepts of 3JS stuff from our stuff. So this is a brand new Showtime service. Oh, and that's right. I used to have one service that had everything, and now I've split them into two. And that was a lot of work. And then here's the three service. So the service used to just have everything, and now tons and tons of stuff are just being sort of removed and replaced. The idea would have been that back in the day when I started off with just like a spinning cube, it was just like, oh, I just need a service to handle three stuff. There was no concept of my stuff, Showtime stuff, and three stuff. That concept just didn't exist. So then this three service was a pretty good service, but then it just blew up. It just grew out of control. So that's why things started getting split out. Apparently, we added the math service in this one, and that was to convert hex to numbers, numbers to hex. Um, so it looks good. Now, normally something I like to do. Um, okay, so this is the whole validation service. Um, that was the thing that sort of convinced me to totally abandon this application because I just really like this, where you have a structure like this, and then you return a value, and then you use that value. You create dictionaries against that value. So you say, oh, invalidated positive float text is, and then so I say, hey, what are my tokens, and it gives me this, and then I was just like, well, what I would really like is if this whole structure for the whole application for all the different pieces in the scene would be like flattened and tokenized or aliased, and then all kinds of other dictionaries use that alias as the head instead of me trying to figure out things in sort of hierarchies. And I really liked it. It really worked out well. Um, it did lead to this one set of weirdness with these is one deep and is two deep, but I do think that basically now with the custom aliasing concept, that will go away and it'll just be a function that can turn it. It doesn't have to go searching for things. Um, the function can either turn it into a hierarchy or it can turn it into the flat token. Um, get override exceptions. Yeah, that all looks nice and clean. Like I said, these two are goofy, goofballs. Um, so yeah, this was just a lot of naming, renaming of things. Um, just the paths. That is probably my favorite. Literally, my very, very favorite thing about Angular is, or about the Angular slash uh, web or Visual Studio Code um, sort of combo together, is that it can just move your libraries and then update all the references, and that is so nice. Like most of these lines of code that you see here were just automatically created by me hitting a button saying, "Yeah, go ahead and move it." It was just like mind. It was just like a really boring, very boring, and easy to screw up task. Do not know what that is. I don't. Maybe it means I deleted code. I'm not sure. So yeah, this is our new info message component. Um, and then it had to be needed a little bit of styling. That's kind of a red flag there, when you're just making little things like that. But the info message component is kind of the end of the line. You don't want to be trying to stack things on top of things with weird little things like that. Spec file, info message. I don't know what that's all about. Validation. Yeah, so that's all that's in this HTML is this one line and this minus sign. Um, error message component. So this is a very simple thing. It gets a input required validation token types. Oh, okay, yeah, it gets this token passed in, has this validation service, and then within here, within the HTML itself, it's in the template, it knows how to use that validation service to find the data, and then you're done. You don't ever have to worry about that again. You just set it up inside the dictionary. Okay, so here's all the new code for the key ups. Man, there's a ton in this. Then this is FC validators, and that was basically form specific. Oh, that's it. Uh, so basically, validation that would really. So when I set up the validation, I wanted to make it generic, and the reason I wanted to make it generic is because I thought, oh, someday I'm going to have a file upload, and I want to be able to use the same validations either way. But this stuff with this validators and these controls and validation error objects and all that, there was just no way to make that generic. That is specific. So I added this extra layer to basically be able to use from our regular validation service that the file importer would be able to use, um, and then use that to turn things into control our things for Angular forms. So I like it. I think it's good. I don't have any problem with anything I did in here. Um, let's see. View code change. And it says approve. Apparently, comment. Oh, I guess I have to hit submit. Or, all that. That's weird. What I would like to do is approve. But apparently, it only wants to let me submit my code. And in domain from scene routing, code review changes, submit. Need a kind requested changes. Your requests have not been saved in the past year. Maybe you should have them stored. I'm just gonna leave that there. Maybe deal with that. Think about that later. All right. So I don't know why I'm having a hard time accepting this pull request. So let's go to pull. Yeah, let's click to code, and then let's go back to pull requests, and then maybe from here I could do something. There. Feel like that's good. Well, don't know what that's about. Open. Already the party wants to merge. So let them merge. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Merge. I'd like to merge. I hope. Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Confirm it. All right. So now we are merged. So our code, our main branch should have everything in it. Just for fun, just for funsies, we could look at the package because we know we added that new thing in there. See the info message. So that's definitely from our new stuff. So now let's just go ahead and go back here, and then go back to main, and just do a get pull. Sometimes it just automatically gets stuff for you, and then sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it's just the way. I don't know. Git is always tricky. I think Git's tricky because I don't think Linus Torvaldi, like his main his his English is fine. He has excellent English, but I get the impression that the structure of whatever language he grew up with is different grammatically than English, because Git is just weird, and I don't know anyone who doesn't struggle with, like, you know, like, why why do we call it staging? Staging. Why don't we just call it pushing? Or adding. And stuff like that, and added instead of staged, and like, why do we have all these interesting things. And but anyways, yeah. So Git is tough. It's easy to get rolling on and tough to get figured out. But so the first thing we should always do in this situation, you'd be amazed at how often this doesn't work out. Um, but we should just absolutely. There's no reason it shouldn't, but let's just absolutely. This isn't running, is it? Oh, it is running. Control. And actually, I'm starting to get in this habit again too. So it used to be when in the bad old days of Angular, quite often you would write a bunch of code and then it would all compile and all that and everything would be working. And then the next time you would try to restart it, the code that was working yesterday didn't work. And that's because whatever they're live updating um, wasn't quite in sync with their like TypeScript thing that builds. But then what was even worse is sometimes you would build it wouldn't build. Like it would work, you could start it. See, like I think this is an example of that. Text geometry cannot. And see, this is a problem inside of 3. Okay, that's weird. Let's see, npm start. So those are like the ones like when you're like in the last, like, okay, I'm all done, blah 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 blah, and then you run into a problem like that. Um, the unresolved, yeah. See, that sucks. So something is wrong with building, right? And so I think what that means is that I would not be able to um, actually distribute this application. Like I can run it in the live all I want, but I can't distribute it. Um, that is a good one. That is probably could not resolve 3 examples. It's like, why are you even trying to get something out of examples? Oh, and that's because apparently over here in this mesh, I got my font loader from 3 examples. And that is not there anymore, apparently. Let's see. Node modules. That's saying look in 3. Oh my gosh, I can't even just imagine what sort of on the verge of meltdown I'd be having right now if I was at work. Um, but fortunately, we're just here having fun, writing some code. Font loader.js. 3 examples. Oh, JSM. Oh, JSM. Loaders. And then font loader.js. And it's saying that it can't find that. No, it's upset about the geometries. text geometry. So it's saying it can't find that. So I think that probably the right thing to do at this point would be to copy these files into your assets directory. I don't know if the assets directory is the right place for them, but copy these into a place that that is going to stay as part of your code base and not part of your npm installs, um, and try to use them that way. The problem is, don't know if here. Let's do this. This is always fun to do. Let's go to ChatGPT. Sing error when I try to build my Angular project. Okay, that double thing, it's a bit of a pain in the butt. Okay. I don't know why I started with that. Okay, so I have that. We have this. I don't know if I did that right there. That does make sense. So probably try that tomorrow. This was a really good. Let's look at the other one. I wonder if when you do this, when you select, if you're helping other people by helping them, or if you're just giving them information about yourself. Um, just like, and then you're being judged harshly based on your choice. Oh, you chose response one. You're one of the response one people. Yeah, right. I think you're right. I think you're right. Um, that's not it. An incorrect usage. That is how it is, though, right? That is how it is. It's weird that it's sending me the line 4, but the text geometry. Oh, I don't know. What are you doing, dude? Let's see. So this says it's the font loader, but the line says it's text geometry. So import, see if that third one. Import text geometry. Okay, so one thing I didn't have is this .js. Ooh, I bet that's it. I bet you it's the .js. That's probably why that other one didn't fail. Now we are totally at risk, right? Like, if this was a production application, we are so at risk of just one little tweak by the 3 people moving their examples around, or or something like that, um, totally breaking us. So, okay, so that was it. Oh man, and I've had that problem before, where if it's a JS, see by default a TS is what it's looking for, but if it's a JS, that can be um, a problem too. So I don't know. So let's go ahead and add this, and we're just gonna add it right on the main. Let's make sure it starts. make sure things still work. I can't imagine it breaking adding that JS. But you never can tell. And I would hate to check it all into the main branch. Okay, man, that actually made me nervous. Yeah, there we go. So that's good. Um, so yeah, let's go ahead and commit that and push it. Get all right. So tomorrow we will start on. Let's see. Ooh, 31 minutes. All right, right. We got to speed up, okay? All right, all right. That's a deal. Tomorrow we'll start on the upload. I mean, on the upgrade to Angular 19. The last time I tried it, basically it broke the application. They built out everything worked, built and all that, and it rendered, but this SVG, this right here, ended up being like zero height, zero width. So we'll figure that out. It's possible that the problem like that was set to zero, and that was set to zero, and that zero, and that zero. Um, it's possible it's a timing issue. Like maybe there's a slight difference in the way things run and when it's going to calculate the height and width. That's failing. There's just a million different possibilities. Ways. Happy coding. Bye.